My girlfriend betrayed me with my brother. Jack, a successful engineer, faces the betrayal of his younger brother Daniel, who is having an affair with his girlfriend. This situation forces Jack to rethink his relationship with his family. Kate helps him find support and new happiness. Together, they create a strong bond based on mutual support and understanding. However, Daniel continues to try to destroy his brother's union by staging a dramatic scene at their wedding. But Jack doesn't give up, and his family leaves their celebration. My name is Jack and I am now 38 years old, a civil engineer in a prosperous company. My story begins a long time ago when I was just a little boy. I lived in San Francisco, in a pretty busy neighborhood. And ever since I was a little boy, I used to feel that something was wrong in our family. This was especially true of my relationship with my younger brother Daniel. My parents always paid more attention to him, as if he was some kind of special child. And what can I say? They adored him. I, of course, tried not to pay much attention to it. I studied, worked, developed my career. I liked my work. The clients were happy, the projects came one after another, and I felt that I was moving forward. At the same time, Daniel finished his studies as an architect and his father took him into his architectural firm. His parents were so proud, telling everyone they met what a talented son they had. Every time I came home tired after a long day at work, I could hear them discussing Daniel's next achievement, his new projects, contracts, but it was as if they had forgotten about me. Each of my new projects was a small achievement for me, but for my parents, Daniel's successes overshadowed everything else. They bragged to friends and acquaintances about how their youngest was conquering the architectural world, completely forgetting that I, too, had achieved something in my life. It was frankly very frustrating for me. Sometimes I felt like an invisible man standing in the shadow of my brilliant brother. These experiences left a deep mark on my heart. I began to doubt myself, my strength, but I tried not to show it, continued to work even harder, hoping that one day I could prove to my parents that I was worth something. But every time I thought that was about to happen, they were once again consumed with Daniel and his new victories. So, picture this. Me, Jack, standing in the middle of a fancy party thrown in my honor. I've been awarded a prestigious prize, and everyone around me is so happy, congratulating me, raising their glasses. I feel on top of the world. In the middle of the party, I noticed that my girlfriend Emily had disappeared somewhere. The guests continued to party, the music was playing, and she suddenly disappeared from sight. I got worried and decided to look for her. At first I went all around the first floor, looking in every room, but I couldn't find her anywhere. My thoughts were racing. Maybe she went outside or went to the restroom. But there was no sign of her in the garden or the restroom. Everything looked suspicious. Deciding to check the upper rooms, I slowly climbed the stairs. My heart was beating faster, and I didn't know what to expect. Each step seemed endless, as if time had slowed down. When I reached the second floor, I stopped and listened. There was no sound from behind the door, except the quiet hum of music from downstairs. There was a slight scent of Emily's perfume in the air, which added to my unease. I walked over to the first closed door and opened it cautiously. Nothing. Then to the second. Again, silence. But when I reached the third door, I heard some rustling from inside. My hand trembled as I turned the knob and pushed the door open. It was semi-dark inside, with only a faint light shining through the curtains. And that's when I saw her. Emily was lying in bed, her hair strewn across the pillow, and next to her, my brother. I was frozen in place. My legs were no longer obeying me. My head was spinning. How is this even possible? My mind flashed. It was so absurd and painful that I could not believe my eyes. The world around me seemed to have collapsed. My first thought was to scream, to grab my brother by the throat and push him out or beat him up. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the shock. Maybe it was the realization that it wouldn't change anything. I stood there like a statue, unable to move. Time seemed to stop as I tried to comprehend what was happening. When my parents noticed that something was wrong, they rushed over to me. I saw Mom and Dad exchange glances, realizing that something serious had happened. But instead of expressing sympathy or offering help, they began urging me to keep quiet. "There's no need to make a fuss," Dad said. "Daniel is an important man, holds a high position. You can't ruin his reputation." I was overcome with a feeling of helplessness and anger at the same time. How could they think of the company's reputation when my brother had betrayed me? How can they put the interests of the business above my well-being? After all, I'm their son too? But despite my inner rebellion, I felt paralyzed. Perhaps it was my body's defensive reaction to so much stress. It was too much. I broke off my relationship with Emily immediately. I couldn't see her anymore. I almost stopped talking to my family. I realized that I needed to take time out, sort myself out, and focus on work, because that's the only place where I can find support and meaning in life. No one else has the right to decide for me how to live my life and what to do. Soon my life changed. I remember the day I first saw Kate at the exhibition. We were just standing next to each other, looking at one painting, and suddenly we started talking. It turned out that we had so much in common. We both love art, architecture, traveling. I was amazed at how much she knew and how much she was passionate about art. After that meeting, we started seeing each other often. We chatted for hours about the latest exhibitions, books, movies. Gradually, our friendship grew into something more. Kate became not just a friend, but a real source of strength and inspiration for me. She supported me in difficult moments, rejoiced at my successes. Next to her, I felt that I had changed. I became more confident, calm, and happy. One day, walking in the park, I decided to propose to Kate. It took some time to prepare, but it was worth it. In the evening, when the sun began to set, we found ourselves on the shore of the lake, where I had set up a small tent with flowers and candles beforehand. Inside the tent was a scrapbook of Kate's drawings of our moments together. On the last page I wrote, "Will you be my wife?" Kate was absolutely thrilled and even cried with happiness. Of course, she said yes. This moment was the beginning of a new chapter in our life, full of love and mutual understanding. At this time, there was a major scandal in my father's company involving my brother. His name came up in the context of an investigation into document fraud in the design and calculation of commercial buildings. It all started with a routine audit that was conducted as part of a standard review of a company's financial statements. One of the auditors discovered strange discrepancies in the documentation relating to the cost of materials and work performed. Upon further investigation, it was discovered that the brother was using false invoices and delivery notes to inflate the cost of construction materials and contractor services. In this way, he gained access to large sums of money, which he then transferred to personal accounts. This went on for quite some time, and the amount of damage to the company was significant. The scandal quickly came out, and soon the whole company found out about it. The father was furious and could not believe that his own son could do such a thing. The company's reputation was jeopardized as such cases attract media and regulatory attention. Internal proceedings began, and the brother was suspended while the probe was underway. In addition, rumors surfaced that some employees were aware of what was going on but preferred to turn a blind eye. This added fuel to the fire and led to a massive layoff of employees linked to the fraud. The company lost the trust of many customers, and a lot of effort had to be made to restore its reputation. This situation was a hard blow to my father. He always believed that he brought up his son properly and could not understand how he could commit such a betrayal. The family was divided. The mother tried to protect her brother, claiming that he acted under the influence of difficult circumstances, but the father insisted on severe punishment. Nevertheless, the mother managed to persuade him to mitigate the measures. The scandal led to a lengthy trial in which the brother was charged with embezzlement and abuse of office. The trial took a lot of time and resources, but in the end the brother received a suspended sentence. The father's company suffered significant losses, but managed to survive with the support of the remaining loyal employees and customers. This situation left a deep mark on our family. My brother managed to avoid imprisonment, and now he works in my father's company, but in a less important position. However, The relationship between me and my parents became even worse. I stopped trusting my family members and started to build my life separately, trying to avoid any ties with my parents and my father's business. And then came our happy day. Our wedding with Kate promised to be perfect, full of joy and happiness. The guests had arrived, the atmosphere was festive, and nothing portended trouble. But as soon as the ceremony began, Daniel and his girlfriend appeared, followed by their parents. It was immediately clear that something was going wrong. Daniel looked annoyed and disgruntled. It was obvious he wasn't here to celebrate. He was acting aggressively, being drunk, harassing guests, arguing with his girlfriend, tripping, falling, hitting waiters with drinks, causing them to fall and crash. After that, he got up, started swearing, and got in a fight with me when I tried to help him. Daniel accused me of always being jealous and never recognizing his successes. My parents tried to calm the situation down, but their interference only made things more difficult. Then I gathered my courage and addressed the guests. I began my speech by thanking everyone present for coming to share this important moment with us, then moved on to the main topic. I am grateful to all of you for your support, but today I am compelled to reveal some things that have long remained unknown. My brother, Daniel, has always been the favorite son in our family. He was forgiven a lot of things, and he took advantage of it. But today I want to tell you about how he betrayed me and our family. I told the story of how Daniel betrayed me using my ex-girlfriend and recent events at my father's company. I recalled the fake ID and embezzlement scandal that many had heard about but few knew the details. I also pointed out how his parents had always defended Daniel, ignoring the evidence of his guilt. Thank you for your supposed support. Because of you, I have achieved a lot in my life and met a real, honest, and decent woman. The guests listened intently, holding their breath, while the parents shifted restlessly from foot to foot. Daniel's girlfriend, hearing all this, was shocked, quietly got up and left the party, leaving Daniel alone. Eventually, the parents left with Daniel and the celebration continued. Years have passed, and I can't help but notice how much my life has changed. 3 years ago, on this same day, Kate and I got married, and we have been walking through life hand in hand ever since. We had a beautiful daughter, and every minute spent with her fills my heart with joy. I continued to move up the career ladder, reaching new professional heights, but most importantly, I found harmony in my personal life. Realizing the importance of an environment that truly values and respects me has helped me establish clear boundaries with my family members. Although my parents continue to make attempts to reestablish contact, I maintain my distance and stick to my principles. I have learned that a true family is those who accept and support each other unconditionally, no matter the circumstances. Those who are there for you when you need support, who rejoice in your happiness and share your values. Kate and I have created our own strong family based on mutual love and respect. Our relationship is built on honesty and understanding, and we know we can overcome any obstacle together. My daughter is fortunate to grow up in an atmosphere of love and harmony, and I'm glad she sees an example of healthy relationships from an early age. Yes, my relationship with my parents has remained strained, but I have accepted that as a given. I realize that everyone has their own life, and I have the right to choose who I associate with and how to structure my life. I am now focused on creating my own future, on giving my daughter the support and care that I myself did not always receive as a child. My priorities are clear. I'm devoting my time to what really matters: my wife, my child, and my career. I am confident that I am making the right choices and that no external circumstances can throw me off course.